I don't know who said it, but it went something like, "Give me a lever long enough and a place to stand, and I'll lift the world." Leverage. It is a force multiplier. You need it more than anything. You have any intention of getting paid in the long run. And we are on the next. Other mental model so far. I have to say, for the past 1 week, I think I've just been, what would I say, taking in, feedback. Let me tell you, one of the hardest thing I guess to do in anything, whether you're starting a business or whether you ventured into a relationship, or it's even you've started work at a new place, you need to have like an established feedback loop to just know, where to improve and where not to, where you're doing it off. Yeah. And I've been getting a lot of that, last week. Let me tell you, one of the best things you can do is just have genuine people, actually give you critique of just what it is that you're doing. Yeah. I remember, I guess it was like 2 days. This is when someone just sent me a text. Kanembia, it's fine, but is it that you're reading from a book? It appears so much rehearsed. And I swear to God, yes, that is indeed what it is about. I guess when I started, what did I say? I wasn't as easy as I normally would be in a normal conversation. Perhaps it was just that over editing, which is part of it. You see, part of the problem with all these things, you don't know who can be interested in this sort of thing. So you just put it out there. If someone picks it, they pick it. You just have that sort of, what would I say? It's exciting to say the least, but it's just one of those things that you kind of need an audience. At the same time, it's like performing before an audience, and it can be a total flop. It can actually work. So, that just be me for the previous week. Just feedback. And I have to say, I am loving it, People get to view things very differently. So, getting all those different perspectives kind of helps. I say, one man's trash is another man's comeback. Perspective, you. So, when you write on the next one, this thing called leverage. And leverage, if you have to think about, for some of you, or let's just say yes, for some of you who have pushed a wheelbarrow, unajua ile mzigo unaweza beba nayo wheelbarrow, you just cannot lift it. Perhaps you can do 1,000 kgs on a wheelbarrow, but wewe mwenyewe huwezi beba na mabega yako. And it goes to show just how powerful leverage is. You can swing kwa siso na mtu by them mwenye, they are twice your weight. But depending on where they sit, you can actually have that sort of thing, playing. And it just goes to show, just how powerful leverage is. You can use something else to lift something much more heavier, or much more than you would by hand. And that is exactly what leverage is. And as we will see, later, if you actually want to it becomes really difficult to have money or to be wealthy without leverage. Ningumu sana, by the way. You need the force multiplier. It's Safaricom. It's using media, robots or not. But it can scale, that sort of thing. It can get to very many people, and it's solving a real societal problem. Anyway, I was thinking about the 3%. You guys think about such a thing as the 3%. The government have introduced. Government, for the most part, it is just money backed by violence, for the most part. It's doing a lot of function, and they are very important functions nonetheless. But they don't have money. We give them the money. So the government has an idea to do a housing project, but they have no money. But you're leading 40 million people. You say you're ruling over 40 million people, and perhaps, I don't know, I don't know how many are paying taxes. Maybe, I don't know, 2018 perhaps. No, I think it had probably maybe six. I don't think there are that many people who are paying taxes. But nonetheless, so you're like, well, but there's 7 million of you. If we take 1,000 from all of you, we can do that sort of thing. And the thing is, you see, if it's a company which actually came to you and told you that, you'll be like, hey, no, but this is the government. So they're just going to impose a law. They're going to introduce a law, and it's going to do all that. And they're going to do the project or not, right? That is leverage. That you have 7 million people that you can, show up at their door and just tell them, yes, it's 1,500 now. It's 1,500. And my point was, the mere fact that the government can leverage on 7 million people kind of goes to show that you kind of need a force multiplier. You need to have something on the other end, or rather, your inputs have to be very untied to the outputs. You can put in an hour of work, and then you can just show up in the evening, having 7-8 units in compensation out of that work. So it's not tied. It's not like 8, then you get compensated for the 8. It's like it's 8, but you're getting 50. And that is pretty much that. When you tune the wheelbarrow, by the way, 100 kgs of sugar, and you're probably wasting the boy money. That was leverage. The government with the 3% is leverage here. Even pick your best, I say, content creator. And that is the beauty of the modern day, is that they're all leveraging on media. If Jugush, by the way, was to do the same thing that he's actually doing it now, and have put it up at theater every freaking time. Like, we have to show up at the theater and you're like, hey, we've gone to see like Jugush. Right now, he's making his content whatever he's making it, and then wherever you are, it just gets to you, They're using media as a leverage, and that is the case for pretty much all the content creators out there that also benefiting from this. I mean, you think about what I would have to have done to actually do this like 20 years ago. I would have had to have gotten to like a TV network and like pitch them my show, or maybe a radio station, and be like, by the way, I want to talk about these things. Can I get this? And if it makes sense, money wise, perhaps they might take me. But hardly did that ever happen, So all of a sudden, this thing, the beauty of the internet has created all these opportunities where, niche obsessions can actually scale. I'm telling you, this thing is it is so interesting. I have this YouTube channel that I'm so obsessed with. It's like it's a woman who takes care of monkeys. I'm telling you, I'm so glued to the show. Every day I can show up, every day. Let's see what the woman is actually doing with the monkeys. Yeah, and she's somewhere, perhaps in Cambodia, I don't know where she is, but you get. Such an obsession has scaled to the point where I am watching it actually here in Kenya. And then I guess is the beauty of the modern day that, the technology has been democratized such that it is available to pretty much all of us. And then you can just broadcast, and you can use leverage. You can use media as it is, as that leverage, to force multiply your efforts. You don't have, by the way, Kwitawatu, like these lectures, you don't have to go to a lecture, or perhaps people can just join into a live session, and maybe it's not as good as a physical, but still there's a possibility that you can actually do that. And so media is just one of those. For the government with the 3%, clearly that is using labor as a leverage. Go to now to Wengi, by the way, who you're ruling over. You can tell them this, you can tell them that, and you have the backing of power and law and all that sort of thing, It's power for the most part. But this is one of those, what would I say, concepts, mental models, so to speak, that I've been thinking about, and just its utility in real life. It's one of those things you can represent many things that you're doing in life to kind of make sense. You can have a baby shower, and all you're doing is leveraging on your friends. It's a force multiplier. The fact that you can leverage on all your 10 friends to just show up there. Like, I remember when I was launching this podcast, I remember I had like friends over, leveraging on my friends for a house party. You need leverage in life, And one of the things you cannot realize is if you want to get paid, you need to really figure out what your leverage is. It's just what it is. It becomes really hard. It kind of helps to think about kind of leverage is it that you can apply, whether it's media, the internet as it is, social media, whether it's coding, whether it's now labor, like our government is at 3%. You need it. You need to multiply your efforts. The better you multiply them, the better you get compensated. Because even if I'm putting in 1 hour of work and I'm getting compensated for 8 hours, that you throw in compounding effect to that, it kind of becomes crazy.